Vertical short-form animation used to feel to me like this weird side quest. Like something you did for the algorithm, but not for your actual career. But lately, I've been seeing indie animators use shorts to quietly build entire worlds. Characters, shows, fan bases, momentum. So today, I want to break down the storytelling formats that are actually working and how you can use them for your own projects. Because here's the truth, most of us don't get to make a full series right away. We don't get handed a season order and a budget and a team. We build things slowly. And shorts are how a lot of creators are doing that right now. They help you test ideas, grow an audience, prove there's really something there. They're not throwaway content, they're like micro-pilots, proof of concepts. I've been doing this storytelling thing for a while now, in studios and independently. And the creators who are really winning in short form aren't just posting random clips. They're actually telling tiny, strategic stories. Hi, I'm Emily Brundage, and I create cartoons for a living. Over the past decade, I've pitched and sold 8 original animated shows. Most recently, I created my own original animated show, Goldie, for Apple TV. It's been nominated for 2 Emmys, including Best Writing. When I look at the shorts that turn into long-term fandoms, I see the same 3 storytelling models that really work. They seem simple, but structurally, they're doing something very smart. Let's start with the most classic storytelling format.
He's looking at you, kid.
Self-contained stories. Mummy Joe is a great example of this. Every short is its own tiny episode, beginning, middle, and end. Nothing carries over, so you can click on any one and you're not lost, you're just in.
So popular.
Why does this work?
Basically,
You don't need context. You don't need lore. You just click and you're watching a whole story. You feel satisfied. Every short feels complete. Every short feels worth your time. That's huge for discovery. Here's how you can use this. Think in tiny episodes. One problem, one attempt that makes it much, much worse, and one outcome. That's it. So ask yourself, what does my character want? What goes wrong, and how does it end? Mummy Joe does this really well, and usually ends on a sweet wrap-up or funny punchline.
yes.
Model 2, I'm calling reliable expectations. This model is about emotional consistency. These Wabie shorts are a great example of that. Because the series is framed like, nothing bad ever happens to Wabie, but something bad always happens to Wabie. That's the joke. That's the punchline. The animation is super simple, the audio is kind of purposefully lo-fi. It feels like an old kids show, like Peanuts, or something you'd watch on a fuzzy TV. It feels safe and nostalgic. You think, okay, this will be fine. Then bam, at the very end, something goes terribly wrong for Wabie. He gets hurt, embarrassed, or flattened. Sometimes it's kind of brutal. And that contrast is the whole point. You're not watching to see if something bad happens. You're watching to see how bad it gets. That's the reliability. And it happens again and again and again. So why does this work? Because it builds trust. Viewers know exactly what they're going to feel. And that emotional rhythm becomes comforting, even when it is chaotic. People come because they trust that experience. Here's how you can use this. Decide what your repeatable promise is. Is it coziness, awkwardness, chaos? Whatever it is, protect it. You're not selling plot, you're selling a feeling. Model 3, simple punchlines. With these types of shorts, we have one idea, one setup, and one payoff. That's it. It's basically animated stand-up. What's Up, Beanie is especially good at this because they use the same structure across totally different versions of the character, Beanie. Sometimes Beanie is a toddler, sometimes she's a teenager, sometimes she's an adult. Different ages, different problems, but the same engine. For example, in one adult Beanie short, she wants to tell her partner something, but he's on the phone. So she tries to hold that thought, and the thought literally parachutes out the back of her head and floats away. That's the whole joke. One idea, one visual, one great payoff. Or there's a toddler Beanie short, where she tells her mom,
I don't want to sleep.
Well, how about you tell a story to Bunny until you get tired?
Okay.
Seems reasonable, except it backfires. Beanie starts telling an epic, ongoing fantasy saga to the bunny, and now she's more awake than ever. Here's how you can use this structure. You have a present situation, your character reacts, and there's a twist. Here's an example. I tried to be productive today. Nope. I thought this would be easy. Disaster. I had a plan. Bad plan. If comedy is your strength, this is a good storytelling engine to use. Why it works. You always know, I'm here for one clear idea, executed perfectly. This is actually the model I'm going to be using for future Franny shorts, because it's fast, it's flexible, and it lets character comedy shine. I can drop Franny into one situation, push it, and land on one strong joke. No heavy setup, no homework for the audience, just premise, punchline, repeat. So here's my question. Which model fits your show best? And why? Tell me in the comments. And if you're building something right now, like a show, a world, or a character, short form isn't a distraction anymore. It might just be the way in. If you want more tips and insider advice from an experienced animation writer and showrunner, you can check out my Substack at emilybrundage.substack.com. There will be a Strawberry Vampire Kickstarter coming soon to try to fund the next episode animatic. So if you add your name to the mailing list, you'll get updates on that. In 2025, I wrote A Guide to Developing Animated Shows. It's been embraced by the animation community and praised by creators like Joe Brum, Jorge Gutierrez, and Lauren Faust. My book, A Guide to Developing Animated Shows, walks through the development process step by step. It's a comprehensive resource you can come back to again and again. Keep writing and keep creating.